Welcome to the Lincoln Bio Podcast, your one-stop destination for life-changing insights on health, wealth, legal education, relationships, and more. Ready to level up? Let's dive into the knowledge designed to transform your life.
Ready to finally say goodbye to those sleepless nights? We're doing a deep dive on crush insomnia today. Your guide to better sleep. And let me tell you, this goes way beyond your typical sleep hygiene tips.
Oh, yeah.
It's like sleep science meets practical advice, all rolled into one.
Absolutely. I think that's a great way to put it. This guide, it really takes a different approach to insomnia. It doesn't just focus on treating the symptoms, like a lot of those quick fixes out there. This one really delves into the underlying causes and offers a more holistic perspective. I think that's what makes it so unique.
So we're not just talking about counting sheep or drinking warm milk here.
No, not exactly. Crush Insomnia really dives deep into the science behind how insomnia affects your brain, and not just at night, but throughout the entire day. That's the really interesting part.
I've always kind of thought of insomnia as, a nighttime problem, tossing and turning, staring at the ceiling.
Right.
But the book describes it as a 247 brain state. What does that actually mean, like in practical terms?
So think of it this way. For most people, as they start to drift off to sleep, the part of the brain that's responsible for logical thought and decision-making starts to quiet down.
Yeah.
But for insomniacs, this area, it remains active. So it keeps the brain in this constant state of alertness, even when the body is exhausted.
So it's like their brains are stuck in overdrive.
Exactly.
Even when they desperately need to rest.
Exactly. And that has this ripple effect on everything from, how you focus at work to how you interact with your loved ones.
Oh, wow.
Imagine trying to concentrate on a complex task when your brain feels like it's running a marathon.
That sounds exhausting.
It is. It's exhausting. And that's why people with insomnia often struggle with even simple things like their morning routines.
Yeah.
Even something as simple as figuring out what to have for breakfast can feel overwhelming.
It's almost like you can't even think straight.
Exactly. The book actually uses that example. It says that, it's not just about feeling groggy. The lack of sleep literally impacts your cognitive function.
Wow.
It makes even simple decisions feel really overwhelming.
So it's affecting your brain.
It is, and it goes even deeper than that. The book mentions some research that links chronic insomnia to reduced gray matter in the brain, which is the stuff that helps us think and process information.
I had no idea. The impact was so significant.
It is. It's definitely not just about feeling tired.
All right.
And that's what makes Crush Insomnia so compelling, I think. It really emphasizes that insomnia is more than just a nighttime nuisance.
Yeah.
It can have this domino effect on your entire life.
So it's not just about struggling to fall asleep or waking up in the middle of the night.
Right.
It's about how that lack of sleep impacts you during the day, too.
Exactly. And, the guide makes a distinction between what it calls acute insomnia and chronic insomnia.
Okay.
Acute insomnia is often triggered by a specific event, like stress at work or a big life change. It's temporary. And it usually resolves once that stressor is gone. But chronic insomnia, this is a persistent pattern of sleeplessness that lasts for months or even years.
So if you're going through, a particularly stressful time and your sleep is disrupted, that's probably acute insomnia.
Right.
But if you've been struggling with sleep for a long time, regardless of what's going on externally, that could be a sign of chronic insomnia.
Exactly. And understanding that difference is really crucial because it can help you identify the root cause of your sleep problems and then find the most effective solutions.
Now, the book dives into, a variety of potential causes of insomnia.
Yes.
From stress and anxiety to medical conditions and lifestyle choices. But I'm curious, what are some of the common risk factors that kind of stood out to you?
Well, one thing I found particularly interesting was the emphasis on lifestyle choices and how they can disrupt our natural sleep-wake cycle.
That makes sense.
Things like shift work, frequent travel across time zones.
Yeah.
Right. And even the constant exposure to artificial light from our devices. All of these things can contribute to insomnia.
Our bodies are designed to follow that natural rhythm of day and night.
Exactly.
But our modern lifestyles often interfere with that.
Precisely. Think about it. You're exposed to bright lights and screens all day long.
Right.
Then you come home and try to wind down in a brightly lit room.
Yeah.
It's no wonder our brains get confused about when it's time to sleep.
And speaking of being confused, The book uses this really powerful term, sleep-starved the devil,
Oh, yeah.
to describe the cumulative effect of chronic sleep deprivation.
Right.
It sounds pretty ominous.
It does. It does. The book paints this very vivid picture of how insomnia can have this ripple effect that touches every aspect of your life.
Yeah.
Professionally, you might find yourself struggling to focus at work, missing deadlines,
Right.
making costly mistakes.
Yeah.
And personally, it can strain your relationships, leaving you feeling irritable and disconnected from your loved ones.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah. It's like your patience wears thin.
For sure.
And even small things can set you off.
Yeah,
It's tough.
it is. It's almost like insomnia creates this vicious cycle. Lack of sleep leads to problems in your daily life.
Yeah.
Which then creates more stress and anxiety, making it even harder to sleep.
Exactly. It's a downward spiral. It can be really hard to break free from. But the good news is,
Yeah.
Crush Insomnia offers a whole range of solutions,
Okay.
both natural and artificial, to help you regain control of your sleep.
So let's talk remedies.
What?
What does the book suggest for those who are struggling to get a good night's rest?
Well, it explores two main paths. You've got the artificial remedies,
Okay.
which are primarily medication. And then you have the natural approaches,
Okay.
which focus on lifestyle changes and behavioral techniques.
Let's start with medication. I know a lot of people turn to sleeping pills when they're desperate for some shut-eye.
Right.
What does the book have to say about that?
Well, it mentions several types of medications that are commonly prescribed for insomnia, like azepicolone, Remedies, and even some antidepressants that have sleep-inducing effects. But it's very clear that medication should always be a last resort,
Okay.
and only under the guidance of a medical professional.
Absolutely. We can't stress that enough. This is not medical advice.
Right.
And everyone's situation is unique.
Exactly.
So always talk to your doctor before starting any new medication,
Yes.
especially for something as important as sleep.
Absolutely. Self-treating with sleep medication can be dangerous
Right.
and can actually worsen insomnia in the long run.
So medication is on the table,
Mm-hmm.
but only as a last resort
Mm-hmm.
and with a doctor's supervision.
Right.
What about those natural approaches?
Mm.
That's what really intrigues me. I'm always looking for ways to improve my sleep without relying on pills.
Me too. And Crush Insomnia dedicates a significant portion to exploring these natural remedies. One that I found particularly interesting was the idea of using camping as a way to reset your sleep cycle. Camping. To combat insomnia. That's not what I expected.
I know, it sounds a bit out there.
Yeah.
But the book explains that spending time in nature away from artificial light and technology can help to recalibrate our internal clocks and improve sleep quality.
So it's like a digital detox for your brain.
Yeah, exactly. You're disconnecting from the constant stimulation of screens and reconnecting with those natural rhythms of day and night.
And there's actually science behind this.
There is.
Yeah.
When we're exposed to natural light during the day and darkness at night,
Yeah.
our bodies produce melatonin more effectively,
Okay.
which is the hormone that regulates our sleep-wake cycle. But artificial light, especially the blue light that's emitted from our devices,
Right.
disrupts that natural process.
That explains why I always feel more tired after spending like hours scrolling on my phone before bed. It's
Yeah.
like I'm tricking my brain into thinking it's still daytime.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
camping, you're removing those sources of artificial light. So your body can naturally produce and regulate melatonin,
Okay.
leading to deeper and more restful sleep. That makes a lot of sense. So get back to nature, get more sleep. It's a win-win.
Exactly.
What other natural remedies does the book recommend?
Well, another one is this really interesting concept they call the power down hour.
Okay.
It's essentially about creating a consistent pre-sleep routine that signals to your body and mind that it's time to wind down.
So instead of, checking emails or scrolling through social media right before bed,
Right.
you do something more relaxing to prepare for sleep.
Exactly. The book really emphasizes the importance of avoiding overstimulation in the hour leading up to bedtime.
Boy.
Things like taking a warm bath,
Yeah.
reading a physical book, listening to calming music, or gentle stretching.
Right.
These can all help you relax and prepare for a good night's rest.
I've definitely noticed a difference in my sleep quality when I actually take the time to wind down before bed.
Mm-hmm.
But I often struggle to resist that temptation to check my phone one last time.
It's a common struggle. We all do it. But the book offers a really helpful tip. Turn off your devices completely at least an hour before bed and keep them out of the bedroom.
Got it.
This removes the temptation to check those notifications
Yeah.
and helps to create a more peaceful sleep environment.
I've always wondered about that whole warm bath before bed thing.
Yeah.
Does that actually help you sleep better?
It does. The book explains that taking a warm bath or shower about an hour before bed can actually promote sleepiness.
Okay.
Because when you get out of the bath, your body temperature drops slightly.
Yeah.
And this mimics the natural drop in body temperature that occurs as you fall asleep.
Oh, interesting.
So it signals to your brain that it's time to rest.
So it's not just about feeling relaxed and cozy.
Yeah.
There's an actual physiological response
Exactly.
that helps prepare your body for sleep.
And speaking of temperature, the book also emphasizes the importance of creating a cool sleeping environment.
I've heard that keeping your bedroom cool can help you sleep better. Something about body temperature and melatonin production, right?
Right. A cooler room temperature around 65 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal for sleep.
Okay.
It helps to facilitate that drop in body temperature that's necessary for sleep onset.
Yep.
And also supports the production of melatonin.
Got it.
That all-important sleep hormone.
So a cool room, a warm bath, no screens. It's all starting to make sense.
It is.
What about music? I love listening to like relaxing music before bed.
Me too.
Does the book mention anything about that?
It does. Crush Insomnia suggests incorporating calming music into your pre-sleep routine.
Okay.
Specifically, it recommends opting for soft instrumental music, nature sounds, or even white noise to block out any distracting sounds.
So not exactly heavy metal or techno before bed.
Probably not the best choices for inducing sleep.
Right.
The key is to choose music that promotes relaxation and helps slow down your heart rate and breathing.
I find that listening to nature sounds like ocean waves or rain really helps me drift off to sleep. It's like a mental vacation.
And that's the idea. Creating a calming and peaceful environment that sets the stage for restful sleep.
We've talked about camping, the power down hour, warm baths, cool rooms, calming music. Any other natural remedies that stood out to you?
One more I wanted to mention is the importance of morning exercise.
Wait, I thought any kind of exercise was good for sleep.
It is, but the book explains that morning exercise is particularly beneficial for regulating your sleep-wake cycle.
Okay.
You know, working out in the morning helps to boost your energy levels during the day.
Right.
And perhaps counterintuitively, it makes you feel more tired at night.
So it's about setting up that natural rhythm of activity during the day and rest at night.
Exactly. It's about aligning your body's natural energy fluctuations with the cycle of day and night.
This all makes so much sense. But I have to be honest, sometimes making these lifestyle changes feels overwhelming.
I know what you mean. It can feel like a lot to tackle all at once.
Yeah.
But that's where the book's emphasis on addressing the root causes of insomnia comes in. It's not about finding quick fixes. It's about making sustainable changes that will improve your sleep over time.
So it's about taking a holistic approach.
Yeah.
Looking at all the factors that might be contributing to your insomnia. And addressing them one by one.
Exactly. It's about identifying your individual sleep disruptors.
Right.
And creating a personalized plan to combat them.
And that might look different for everyone.
Right.
Some people might need to adjust their caffeine intake.
Yeah.
While others might need to create a more consistent sleep schedule.
Exactly. And the book offers a variety of strategies to address these common sleep disruptors.
Okay.
It talks about the importance of avoiding caffeine and alcohol before bed.
Right.
Creating a relaxing bedtime routine. And even exploring techniques like yoga and meditation to manage stress and anxiety.
I've heard that even something as simple as a glass of warm milk before bed can help. Is there any truth to that?
The book actually mentions that.
Really?
It explains that milk contains tryptophan, which is an amino acid that helps the body produce serotonin and melatonin, both of which play a role in promoting relaxation and sleep.
So the warm milk remedy isn't just an old wives' tale after all.
It seems like there's some science behind it.
That's interesting. And speaking of relaxation, the book also highlights the benefits of incorporating yoga and meditation into your routine.
Yes.
I can see how those practices would be helpful. Yoga is great for stress relief. And meditation can help calm a racing mind.
Right.
But how do they specifically address insomnia?
Well, yoga, particularly gentle forms like restorative yoga, can help activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for rest and relaxation.
Good.
And meditation, by training your mind to focus on the present moment, can help to quiet those racing thoughts that often keep us awake at night.
So it's about creating that sense of inner peace and tranquility.
Yeah.
It's conducive to sleep.
Precisely. And the book also introduces this really interesting concept called switching off.
Okay.
The overactive monkey brain.
Yeah, the monkey brain.
It emphasizes that trying to force yourself to sleep can actually backfire.
Oh, yeah.
Instead, it's about calming the mind and allowing sleep to happen naturally.
That makes sense. It's like surrendering to sleep rather than battling.
Exactly. And the book offers some practical tips on how to switch off at night.
Right.
One suggestion is to avoid overstimulation from screens,
Right.
particularly in the hour or two before bed.
We've talked about that already.
Right.
But it's worth repeating. That blue light emitted from our devices really does mess with our sleep.
It does. And another tip is to create a clear distinction between your sleeping space and your activity spaces.
Yeah.
So avoid working or watching TV in bed.
The bedroom should be a sanctuary for sleep and relaxation.
Exactly.
Not a place for work or entertainment.
Right. And if you find yourself lying awake with racing thoughts, the book recommends writing those thoughts down in a journal. It's like giving your brain permission to let go of those worries.
Yeah.
And focus on sleep.
It's like a mental decluttering before bed.
Exactly. And lastly, the book suggests having a relaxing drink like herbal tea or a light snack before bed.
Okay.
Sometimes hunger or thirst can keep us awake without us even realizing it.
Well, I've definitely been there. That late night craving for a snack can be hard to ignore.
It can. And it's not just about physical comfort. You know, the act of preparing a calming drink or snack can be a soothing ritual in itself.
So we've covered a lot of ground here, from camping and warm baths to yoga and journaling.
We have.
It's clear that Crush Insomnia takes this multifaceted approach to tackling sleep problems.
It really does. And what I appreciate most is that it doesn't offer a one-size-fits-all solution.
Right.
It recognizes that insomnia is a complex issue with various underlying causes.
And it empowers readers to take control of their sleep.
Yes.
By understanding the science behind insomnia. And experimenting with different techniques to find what works best for them.
Yeah, it's like we've been given this toolbox filled with all these different strategies.
And it's up to us to kind of figure out which tools work best for our own individual, sleep challenges.
That's a great analogy. I love that. It's about finding the right combination of tools and techniques to create a personalized sleep plan.
Right.
That addresses, your specific needs and preferences.
And speaking of personalized approaches, the book ends on a really thought-provoking note, emphasizing the importance of self-love as part of insomnia recovery.
Yeah.
That's not something you typically hear about when you're, talking about sleep problems.
I know. It's an interesting perspective. The book argues that when you're chronically sleep-deprived, it's easy to neglect your own needs and put everyone else's first. You're exhausted. You're running on fumes. You're just trying to get through the day. Yeah. But prioritizing self-care is crucial for overall well-being, including sleep.
It's like that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly.
If you're not taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
It's hard to show up for anything else in your life.
Right. And the book challenges readers to think about how they can prioritize self-care to improve their sleep.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that taking care of your sleep is an act of self-love.
Yeah.
Not selfishness.
It's a basic human need.
It is.
Like food and water.
Absolutely.
It's essential for our physical and mental health.
And when we prioritize sleep, we're essentially investing in our overall well-being.
Yeah.
It's a gift we give ourselves that allows us to function at our best and live a more fulfilling life.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Crush Insomnia, I want to kind of circle back to that final thought-provoking question from the book.
Okay.
How can you prioritize self-care to improve your sleep? It's something for all of us to think about.
Yeah.
Whether we struggle with insomnia or just, want to optimize our sleep habits.
It's a great question to reflect on. Maybe it's about setting boundaries and saying no to commitments that drain your energy. Or perhaps it's about creating a relaxing bedtime routine that you really enjoy. Or maybe it's simply about giving yourself permission to rest and recharge without guilt or judgment.
Just listening to your body's cues.
Yes.
Honoring your need for sleep.
And remember, improving your sleep isn't about finding a quick fix. It's about making gradual, sustainable changes that will benefit you in the long run.
This deep dive has been a fascinating exploration of, the science of sleep and all the many ways we can reclaim those precious hours of rest.
Right.
We've uncovered so much information and practical strategies from Crush Insomnia.
Yes.
A guy that really goes beyond the typical sleep advice to offer a truly holistic approach to better sleep.
Absolutely.
We hope this deep dive has empowered you to take control of your sleep and create a healthier, more restful life.
Yeah.
So until next time, sweet dreams.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Link in Bio podcast. Want to dive deeper into today's topic? Grab your copy now. Just click the link in the description. Stay curious, stay empowered, and we'll see you next time.